Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am SITI SYUHADA ABD Rahman from University Islam Selangor, UIS. The topic of my presentation is Amanah-Driven Strategic Management in Muslim SMEs. So this is the outline of my presentation. I will start with the introduction, followed with problem statement, research objective, literature review, research methodology, findings, discussion, and conclusion. Muslim SMEs play a significant role in the halal-driven economy. They operate within both economic and moral spiritual frameworks. In Islam, business is a form of worship, ibadah. Okay? However, nowadays we see that many business failures are linked to weak ethics, broken trust, and also poor governance. So therefore, ethics must be embedded in the strategic management process, especially to the Muslim SMEs. The problem statement of this study is strategic management literature is largely value neutral. Islamic business ethics are often studied separately from strategy, and there is limited empirical evidence on how Islamic values guide strategic processes. So therefore, the gap that exists or arises in the study is how does amanah influence strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and evaluation in the strategic management process of Muslim SMEs. Based on the gap that exists, the research objective of this study is to examine the role of amanah, that is trustworthiness, in shaping the strategic management practices of Muslim-owned SMEs in Malaysia. In terms of the literature review, Islamic business ethics and prophetic values, the term amanah is actually rooted in Quran and Sunnah. Okay? So there are many ayah in the Quran stated about amanah and also hadith regarding the amanah, okay, according to Rasulullah SAW hadith. So the work of amanah is actually comes together with the rest of the three prophetic values of Rasulullah SAW, that is Siddiq, Fatanah, Tabligh, as well as amanah. According to Antonio 2020, amanah governs individual and organizational integrity. And according to Abdul Rahman 2024 and Solihati et al. 2023, amanah enhanced stakeholder trust and legitimacy. Amanah in Islamic management functions as a governance mechanism that can reduce opportunism, enhance transparency, and strengthen stakeholder trust, according to Fijawi et al. And Rahman and Noor 2023. In Islamic management, it encourages ethical, consistent, and stakeholder-oriented decision-making. According to Muhammad et al. 2019, ethical obligation of Islamic management is to fulfill responsibilities faithfully. In strategic management, there are three main phases, according to David and David 2023. There are strategy formulation, implementation, and evaluation. Ethics shape strategy effectiveness and long-term sustainability, and Islamic value-based leadership fosters ethical behavior, stakeholder trust, resilience, and alignment, according to Panakaji et al. 2025 and Rahman and Noor 2023. So the research methodology used for this study is, it is a qualitative study using in-depth semi-structured interviews to 7 Muslim SMEs entrepreneurs in manufacturing sector located in the Klang Valley. The analysis used is thematic analysis utilizing Atlas TI 9.0 software. The findings in terms of the profile of the SMEs, all of them belong to three main sectors, food and beverage, textile manufacturing, and health and beauty manufacturing sector. So these are the products produced by them. And in terms of the year of establishment, all of them have been in operation for more than 20 years. Regarding amanah in strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and also strategy execution, so based on the analysis conducted, there are several sub-themes that emerge from the analysis. As for amanah in strategy formulation, 3 sub-themes emerge. There are responsibility, social commitment, fardu kifayah, and also halal provision. So for example, here let's say, let's look at PK4. PK4 say that I do this not for myself but for many people. And according to PK6, I am doing business not merely for profit, but because of my social responsibility to society and to my family. So this reflect the responsibility and social commitment as the practice of amanah, used by or applied by Muslim SMEs that involved in this study. Okay. As for PK1, he said that he want to provide halal food. And for PK2, the one thing that we can offer is halal. So this is actually reflect to the halal provision as one of the sub-themes under amanah in strategy formulation of Muslim SMEs. Let's look at amanah in strategy implementation. After conducting the strategy analysis of the verbatim from the interview conducted, so 6 sub-themes emerge from strategy implementation. They are fulfilling promise, responsibility, transparency, fairness, reliability and operational independence as sub-themes or as amanah sub-themes for the practice of amanah in strategy implementation of Muslim SMEs. Okay, for example, here PK3 said that we must keep honest and keep our promises. Product specification also cannot be changed. For responsibility, there are ethical conduct, social responsibility, and environmental stewardship. For ethical conduct, PK5 said that if we are unable to supply, we pay compensation. If there is product defect, we replace it. So this reflect the ethical conduct. Okay, for PK7 said that we donate, we perform charitable acts and give alms. So this is the activities that they do in order to give back to the society. And for PK3, he said that he used recyclable plastic, and although he has to increase in the cost about 15%, but he is willing to bear the cost in order to protect the environment. So this reflect the environmental stewardship practiced by PK3 in his business. Transparency, for example, PK1 said that when previously in the early days of the business operation, he bought sauce for Yong Tau Fu sauce from Chinese supplier. So whenever the Malay traders or the agent come to collect the goods, so PK1 and his team in the company will explain and will tell the Malay traders the source of the goods. For example, they said that they will tell the agent which products are produced by themselves, which are bought from the Malay suppliers, and which products from Chinese suppliers. So this reflects the transparency practiced by them. Okay, and for fairness, so PK2 and PK5, they are fair in supply selection and also fair to the employees. In terms of reliability, we can say this is a sample verbatim. There are many verbatim or many responses uh, by the participants. So I just select a sample. So according to PK3, we are very good with payment. So this shows their reliability in terms of payment. And for PK4 and PK7, they shows that they perform operational independence or self-reliance, whereby they don't depend on external parties in order to operate their business. Because, for example, for PK4, when he took the business, the business actually in a debt of 44 million. So because he see the potential in that company, so he bought the company. However, it was difficult for him in order to gain the bank trust because of the loss of 44 million by the previous company. And for PK7, she said, so the owner is a female, she said that we do not apply for any government assistance. We don't want to be associated with any politicians or politically connected individuals on our board of directors. So meaning that PK7 want to compete like everyone else, without using any cable in terms of their operations. So this shows the operational independence of PK7 and also PK4. So let's look at amanah in strategy evaluation. So there is one sub-theme that emerged from the analysis, that is corrective actions guided by ethical responsibility. So according to PK1, previously PK1 has sell its product in supermarket all over Malaysia. That time PK1 used Malay workers as promoters. However, the challenges faced by PK1 is that there is frequent absenteeism and low commitment by the Malay promoters. So that's why at the end, PK1 has to close, or no longer offer their product in the supermarkets. So because PK1 has to also concerned about the reputation of the supermarket whenever the sales promoter do not turn into work as promised. Okay? And for PK4, PK4 once considered downsizing and even closing the Kelantan factory due to rising costs. Okay? Because many companies out there, they use outsourcing in order to reduce the costs. Okay? Outsourcing by using uh, outsourcing production to countries, to low-cost countries such as Indonesia, China and Vietnam in order to reduce the cost and in order to increase the margin by 10 to 15%. However, according to PK4, he remained hesitant because the workforce consists largely of military tailors from Kelantan and many of whom are economically disadvantaged, including single mother and women who depend on this employment for their livelihood. So this shows that PK4 is very concerned about the well-being of the employees. Yeah? So that's make him hesitant and don't continue in his strategy in order to downsize and also strategy of outsourcing production to external countries because he want to take care of the well-being of his employees. So in terms of discussion, so based on the findings that I have explained just now, so it is notable that Amanah functions as the ethical foundation across all the strategic phases. There are strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation in the strategic management process of Muslim SMEs. So in turn, inshallah, the outcome is that the Muslim SMEs, inshallah, will get sustainable business performance, shareholder trust, and also ethical resilience. So now let's look at Amanah functions in each of the strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation for the discussion part. Okay. So Amanah in strategy formulation guide strategic intent to responsibility and social commitment because the intention of the Muslim SME entrepreneurs when they want to formulate their strategy is they look at the success not for profit alone, but they look at success as an ethical purpose and communal welfare. So that's why whatever that they do when they formulate the strategy is actually in order to get, of course, the blessing from Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and also in order to do social responsibility and as a form of fardu kifayah to the community. And Amanah in strategy implementation guides strategic action get translated into practice through the 6 sub-themes that I have mentioned just now. Okay? Honoring promise, transparency, fairness, reliable payment, and operational independence, as well as social and environmental responsibility. So when they do this in practice, so they will get a trust, strong partnership, and effective strategy execution, as well as sustainability in terms of social and environmental responsibility. Amanah in turn in strategy evaluation is actually guide strategic judgment through corrective actions guided by ethical responsibility. Okay, entrepreneurs in the case study revise or abandon profitable strategies if they harm stakeholders. So we can see that Amanah acts as a moral compass guiding long-term business sustainability. So in conclusion, Amanah is not separate from strategy. Amanah is actually an ethics, a behavior that must be embedded into strategic management process, particularly to Muslim SMEs in Malaysia. Yeah. So Amanah guides strategy formulation through ethical intent. It guides strategy implementation through ethical action. It guides strategy evaluation through ethical judgment, and in turn leads to stakeholder trust, sustainability, and ethical resilience. Okay. So with that, I thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.